OK, big breaking news from Leeds. Let's go live to Tim Thornton. Tim.
Yeah, a managerial change here at Leeds as expected this morning. First of all, Leeds have confirmed the departure of Javi Gracia and his backroom team, and the new head coach is already in place, as well as we've been telling you for the last 24 hours. Sam Allardyce is coming in here at Leeds United and is the new head coach at Elland Road. He'll take charge of the remaining 4 games of the season, so it's a short-term appointment. A manager with over 500 Premier League games on his CV, but possibly his biggest challenge yet to keep Leeds in the Premier League, given the fixtures they have in the remaining 4 games. He will also be assisted by Carl Robinson, the former Oxford and MK Dons boss. The pair worked together at Blackburn Rovers. Robinson has been out of work since leaving Oxford, but again, vastly experienced. And we are also expecting Robbie Keane to join the backroom team at Leeds United. Big fans' favourite at Elland Road. He is also expected to come in to join Sam Allardyce and his backroom team. A big task ahead then for Sam Allardyce. He arrived here at the training ground earlier this morning. He'll meet the players and take training today, and then it's all about focusing on the game this weekend against Manchester City. They really don't come any tougher. I think the big concern for him will be the number of goals that Leeds have been conceding. So it is his speciality, Sam Allardyce, drilling teams, getting them well organised, and with all his experience and motivational skills, he'll need them this weekend against Manchester City. So Sam Allardyce in place to replace Javi Gracia. Leeds have a new head coach for the remaining 4 games of the season.
Tim, thank you very much indeed. There we go. It's taken a bit of time. We were chatting to Tim regularly yesterday, and finally this has happened at 10:30 this Wednesday morning. Matt's with us. First of all, your initial reaction to that news?
Very clear, isn't it, as to what the Leeds ownership want to achieve here. They brought in a manager that is so well versed and experienced in these kind of situations, and knowing what a team requires at this position, at this stage of the season. And that's the skill set that he brings. They've identified that. They're not willing to take the risk and stick with, the current manager, because the recent form has been really bad in terms of leaking goals. A lot of high score lines, a lot of goals going into the Leeds net. You can't win matches. You can't pick up the points you need, and it's a real scrap bottom of the table at the moment. Even now, you look at it and go, is it any clearer than what it was a month ago? Maybe a couple of teams have just started to elevate themselves out, or Southampton have just dropped a little bit too far in. But there's a little cluster there of 4 or 5 teams where you think that the difference of a manager coming in and just doing the basics well, being hard to beat, grinding out a couple of results, bringing some discipline and maybe a bit more physicality to the team, could just be enough to keep them in the Premier League, and that's what he's there to do, Sam Allardyce.
OK, try. I know this is hard, but try to put a figure on how many points you're going to need to stay out. 34. Do you think, with the way that it looks down there at the moment, 34 would be enough?
I think you may be OK with that. Again, it's just a guesstimate. It's so hard to tell the amount of variables that are there. It's impossible to know. I mean, you'd think that West Ham are probably just about there, I would say, in terms of where they're at as a team. You feel they're going to pick up another point or 2 or a win, and they'll be OK. But other than that, I think it's all to play for.
Because we heard Tim there talking about his first game in charge and how tricky that's going to be. But where then can you see Leeds picking up maybe a win and a draw? Would that be enough for them? And goal difference could be significant as well if they can keep it tighter at the back. Theirs is slightly better than those around them, despite the number of goals they conceded in April.
Yeah, goal difference could come down to it. I think it's interesting, we're talking about winning the title, and all of a sudden there's Manchester City playing a team that just could have a potential bounce of a new manager, and it could spark something a bit different from Leeds. So, yeah, I mean, it all depends on the reaction. Big Sam will be looking for a reaction from the players. You know, that's something that he will bring his personality, his character into that dressing room, and he'll want to step back and see what players are going to want the fight and want the challenge of staying up.
Yeah. So it is Manchester City. Then it's followed by Newcastle. It's going to be tough for them to get anything out of those two. So are they looking to go to West Ham and get a draw, and hopefully the Ellen Road crowd would see them to a win if Tottenham's got nothing to play for on the final day? Is that the thinking? And how difficult is it to go from Bielsa, yes, via Marsh and then Gracia, to Big Sam? Because that's a hell of a difference in style and approach to playing the game.
It's massive, but I think what he does and what he will bring will be quite simple to absorb. It will just need to be executed at a high level and not conceding goals. So we look at that and you think, well, what games are they going to win? Well, it starts with not conceding a goal. And if they can get a draw against Newcastle, say for instance, and all of a sudden you've got a couple of games there that potentially you might win one. But it's so crucial, that foundation of keeping a clean sheet or not conceding many. Leeds have always got the odd goal in them, you feel. They've got some good attacking talent, but being defensively sound is so important for them.
Yeah, we shall see.